Hello and welcome back to Healing Mama podcast. I am Healing Mama, aka Val, and I want to thank you for listening, watching, however you're streaming this podcast. I appreciate all the love and support that everyone has extended throughout these now 8 episodes. This is episode 8, self love. And there's a lot of different types of self love that you can get into, but I'm kind of just going to dive into how it works for me, what I see as self love, what I do, and how I take care of myself, things like that. So we will go ahead and kick it off with a quote, as always. Self love is the act of forgiveness, the act of forgiving yourself for the past mistakes, celebrating your progress, and trusting that you're exactly where you need to be. It's about giving yourself grace, allowing yourself to grow, the courage to dream, and the permission to prioritize yourself and your own well being. You are deserving of your own love no matter what. And that is so true. We are so deserving of love. I think that we are all pretty good at giving love for the most part, but we're bad at giving it to ourselves. We're bad at being compassionate and grace with ourselves. So really kind of wanted to dive into that, talk about my journey and what that has looked like for me. I would honestly say at one point in time in my life, I didn't know what self-love looked like. Always looking for love and validation from external people, whatever the case is. If it was posting a picture and people liking it, that made me feel loved and worth. It gave me my worth. Um, so I would say I didn't know what self-love looked like, and that was very hard for me coming into my healing journey because I had to relearn everything that I had taught myself. So at some point in time throughout our lives, we're told certain things on self-love and what that looks like or what it looks like to other people, and we perceive that as to what we should be accepting and what we should be anticipating from other people versus giving it to ourselves. So I'll kind of get into it as, for example, for us mothers or parents in general, but I feel like I'm going to share and relate well to mothers because I'm a mother. I feel like as a mother, we're told once you have kids, that's it. That is your job, that's your duty. And so we kind of start to lose ourselves in our children, and we start to lose that part of us and not really taking care of ourselves. And so I always use the analogy of how can you fill somebody else's cup if you're running on empty? You have nothing left to pour into that person. So it's really, really important to pour into yourself, take time for yourself, and we'll kind of dive into that. But at some point in time, we learned and we built it into our subconscious mind that, hey, you're a mom. You don't get to love yourself. You don't get time for yourself. You don't get to, go into a room and take a 30-minute bubble bath because, hey, the kids are waiting, husband's waiting, whatever the case is. And so we built that, and that's not correct. In order to pour into your kids, you do have to take care of yourself. You do have to have that time for yourself. And it doesn't always need to be, these outlandish things. It could be a simple, hey, mom's overstimulated at this point in time, or wife's overstimulated at this point in time. I'm just going to go for a walk around the block, whatever the case is, take in some sunshine, take in some air, and see what a world of difference that will do for you. And that's a lot of the things that I do. So sometimes, I'm overstimulated and I'm like, hey, you know what? I just need to get some sunlight. Like, give me 10, I'll be back in 10. Um, Other times, it's more outlandish. Like I'm so overstimulated, or I'm yearning for self-love because as you practice it, that is something that your body is like, hey, I like this. I like the way this feels. Like, let's continue to do this. So sometimes I'm overstimulated. Sometimes my body is like, okay, hey, we need this. I will get in my truck and I will go to the beach and I'll sit there at the beach by myself because that is my space. That is where my soul is at peace. And I'll sit there, and it doesn't have to be all day. I'll sit there 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I'm taking it all in. I'm loving myself. I'm being grateful for the moment. And in turn, your body feels that. Your body gets in that positive energy and it's like, okay, I'm renewed. I'm rejuvenated and I can now pour into others. And you'll come back feeling so much better and being able to pour into your family, being able to pour into the ones that you love that are closest to you. And so you do have to fill your own cup in order to put into others. And it's not something that is selfish. And so I want us to break the stigma of feeling like self love is selfish, because it's not. It's something that you need. And I think the older generations didn't see it as that, to where now, if you look back, older generations, the people that are surrounding you, you can see it taking a toll on their body. They didn't take care of themselves. And there's different types, physical, emotional, but you can see it kind of manifest itself, or it's already manifested itself into what their lives look like today. So it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to need your time. And if, being outdoors isn't something for you, it's something as, hey, if you need to go to the mall, walk around, you need to go have lunch by yourself, then do that. It's funny because, I mentioned the lunch by yourself, and my mom is always like, I cannot sit at a table by myself eating lunch. She's like, that's weird. You look lonely. And I personally don't care. I've done that numerous times, and I'm like, yeah, you just sit there. I mean, you're eating, you're getting some time with yourself. And the more that you sit with yourself, the more that you turn off that autopilot of mom, that autopilot of wife, that autopilot of whatever it is, you turn that off, you sit with yourself. And in the beginning, it's a little weird because you're used to going autopilot, your mind is running 1,000 miles an hour. And now your brain is like, okay, what? Like, we're calming down now? And so that does take time, but in the end, if it's something that you practice, it's something that you maintain, it is something that you yearn for. Like, it's something that you truly are like, hey, I miss this. Another thing that I do when I am needing some me time, I meditate. And so, I know people have different ideas as to what meditation looks like. It's not anything crazy. It's also kind of like a form of prayer. So that's just my time reflecting, you know, breathing in and out, trying to make sure that I am in a space where I am able to be grateful. I'm able to release anything that doesn't serve my greatest or highest good. And it's just me time. And so that really does help me. And at the beginning, I used to kind of be unable to sit in silence when I was trying to learn to meditate or work on my meditation. It was so hard for me because I was not used to taking care of myself. And so it did take time. And so I just ask you to be gracious with yourself, have patience, because I promise you from the bottom of my heart, if you spend time taking care of you, the rest is going to fall into place, and you will see the people around you are so much happier because you're giving off different vibes, you're giving off different energy, you're giving off, hey, I am okay and I have enough support. You're not running on E. Um, and so, like I said, I want to break the stigma of it's selfish to love yourself or spend time with yourself or do for yourself, because that is something that a lot of us as parents feel. Or if you're not a parent and you're, a son, a daughter taking care of your parents, and you feel like you have so much weight on your shoulders because you're taking care of mom and dad, and you don't know, how to separate yourself from that. And that almost becomes your identity. Taking care of others can overwhelm you and can consume you, and you can be that caretaker. And that's a lot of weight. And that isn't something that you have to carry. I want to tell you that it's something that you can put on and take off as if it were a backpack. You are able to say, hey, right now, I'm caretaker. Right now, I'm mom. But at the end of the night, before I go to bed, I'm going to take that off, and I'm still going to be me. I'm still Valerie. I'm still going to give myself love. And at the end of the day, if it's a simple sit down and what did I learn today? What was something good that came out of today? What is something that I wish I could, give myself more of at the end of the day, and then working to implement that. So like I said, meditation, journaling, going outside. Sometimes it's even therapy. If you feel like, it's weird just working by myself, trying to work on myself by myself, it's not for everybody, and you need therapy, then see a therapist. Make that time, make you important enough to schedule that time to speak with a therapist or a counselor and learn to open up to people. That is hard. I will tell you, I dreaded therapy as a young girl, as a teenager, as an adult, because I always felt like I'm just paying somebody to listen. They truly don't care. And that's not the case. I will sit here and I will be honest with you and I will tell you there is some people who have burned out and, maybe their heart isn't in it anymore, but not everybody is like that. Some people genuinely do want to listen, do want to help, do want to make suggestions and recommendations to help you become your best self. And so nobody's perfect. At the same time, you do have to put in that effort. You do have to prioritize yourself. And if you don't want it, nobody else can want it for you. And if you have people that are looking up to you, and little brothers, sisters, kids, nieces, nephews, whatever the case is, if you have people looking up to you, they will see that you are loving yourself and then it becomes a trickle effect. Hey, I see Dot's taking care of herself. What can I do to take care of myself? I see that, she is smiling. She looks happier. She sounds different. And so then their curiosity peaks. They come and they're like, hey, what's different? Like, what are you doing? Like, I want to know. And so spreading that awareness, spreading the love, and making sure that you're not ashamed. Just a matter of what's best for you and knowing yourself well enough to stop and tell yourself, hey, I need this. And again, that comes with time. And so, that's the emotional, mental side of self-love. Then there's the physical side of self-love in the sense of taking care of your body, doing things that you can to make little changes to just show your body some love. And so things that I've done on that side of things is, I've cut out sodas, which I am a Dr. Pepper fanatic. That is my drink. I crave it to this day. It's been over a year that I've had a Dr. Pepper, but I said, you know what? It's not good for me. I need to learn to watch what I'm putting into my body. Um, and again, I'm not the skinniest person. I'm not the healthiest person, but I am trying to make conscious decisions as to what I'm putting into my body because this is my one and only body that I get in this life to take care of myself. So, I cut out Dr. Pepper. I cut out sugars. I did lapse, not gonna lie, from November until I just was like, hey, Val, you need to get it back together. So I just picked back up in March, but I had done so well. And I was watching what I was putting in my body because, how can I tell my kids, hey, I want you to be healthy. I want you to eat right. I want you to treat your body well if I'm not doing that. So I need to be that example for them. And so in treating my body well, that is cutting out sugar, that is cutting out things that I know is, not good for me. And loving myself in that aspect. And so there's all different kinds of self-love, but learning what works for you is truly a project, truly something that you have to dive into and mirror that to the people around you because self-love will spread and that's the best type of love. I tell my daughter and my son this all the time. You have to love yourself because if you don't love yourself, then you're always going to seek that external validation from others. And that is only going to set you up for failure in the end. That's only going to break your heart because you're expecting this love to always come from external sources. And so once those external sources are gone, you feel unloved, you feel unworthy. So the best type of love is self-love. So learn to love yourself. Learn to accept yourself. So that way, in turn, let's say something happens, you're not saying, hey, I lost my boyfriend, I lost my husband, and now I feel so unloved. No, if that happens, you're going to know, hey, I'm going to be okay. I love myself. I value myself. And I know that at the end of the day, I am a beautiful, strong woman and I will be okay because I got me. And so just always making sure that you are striving for the best version of you in every possible way and knowing that it does reflect. And There's tons of ways that we can sit here and judge ourselves and, tell ourselves, hey, I don't look like this, or I don't feel like this, but it's easier to judge yourself than it is to love yourself. Always remember that. It's always going to be easier for your brain to see the negative side of things than to see the positive. And so you have to almost retrain your thoughts, retrain your mind, retrain your subconscious mind to think, no, we're not going to do that. It's going to be positive. This old Val is out in the past and we're going to start anew. And this is going to be the new way of thinking. But it takes 21 days to form a habit. So it's something that you're going to have to work on and work on and work on. And even after those 21 days, you still have to work on it. We have good and we have bad days. We have days where, it's tough. For example, I have days where I don't want to, get up. I start off, I'm not a morning person at all. I hate getting out of my bed in the morning. But what I've started to do is I've started to wake up, and as soon as I open my eyes, I start my gratitude list. And it's nothing that I say out loud, it's in my head. So I wake up and I'm like, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you that I have air in my lungs and that my lungs are able to work on their own so that I'm breathing on my own. Thank you for my family, because that automatically shifts your energy, that shifts your vibe. And that's a way of taking care of yourself is, hey, I already know I'm not a morning person. What kind of routine do I have to set in order to get me into the spirit, into the energy that I need to be in for today? And so for me, like I said, that is waking up and doing my gratitudes first thing in the morning before I even put my feet on the ground. And, secondly, I have to take a shower. I have to just wash off the night and set my intentions. And so for me, it's huge. My husband knows my shower time is my me time. And so it doesn't even have to be anything crazy where you have to go outside and go for a walk, but my shower time is me time. Everybody knows that. I'm showering, I'm, setting my intentions for the day. I'm doing my affirmations, I'm doing my, my prayers, my meditation, whatever the case is, but that is my routine. So I feel like if you set your routine knowing yourself and being true with yourself, then that helps you. So I know I'm not a morning person. I know I struggle getting out of bed. So what can I do to shift my mentality to get it to be in a positive, loving light? And so that helps me. And that routine really does make a difference. It really does help me be in the best energy possible. And that's something that I have to work on throughout the day. And so I have to continue to be grateful. And I will tell you that anytime you're feeling sad, anytime you're feeling mad, stop. Stop yourself and think, what am I grateful for today? What am I happy about today? A negative thought cannot exist in a positive mindset of gratitude. Always remember that. So things are always going to go up and down. But if you have your plan and you know what works for you because you have done work on you, then you're setting yourself up for success. And you will have a great day if you believe you will have a great day. And everything in life, remember, I promise you, everything in life is happening for you, not to you. So if you have that mentality as, you know what, man, my alarm didn't go off today, I'm running 10 minutes late, life is happening for you, not to you. You don't know what would have happened if you drove off 10 minutes earlier. Maybe it's the universe sending a sign, God protecting you, saying, hey, you know what, I need you to be 10 minutes late today. So always remember, life is happening for you, not to you. God loves you so much, and you in turn need to love yourself because that love needs to live in you day after day so that you can spread it to others. So always remember, you deserve the love that you're trying to give to others. If you can give it to other people, why can't you give it to yourself? If you see other people as important and worthy of your love, why aren't you important? Why aren't you worthy of your love? So what you're trying to give it to yourself. And I promise the love that you're giving to those people will be tenfold that of what you're doing right now. Because you're loving yourself, so that love is going to double in the love that you're giving to others. So always remember to love yourself first. And so until next time, I appreciate you all for taking the time to listen to me, stopping in and streaming. I appreciate the love, support, And I send you nothing but love, positivity, and good vibes all throughout the week. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye.